Hello students, in last video lecture we studied about the story The Cop and the Anthem. We seen only the short introductions of the story The Cop and the Anthem. Writers informations O. Henry, short work, his some specific characteristics of his writing we seen, and the main characters, major characters or minor characters of the story. In this video lectures we are going to learn actual story of O. Henry, the Cop and the Anthem. So first I read the whole story. Just check out in textbook or just watch this video very carefully. Afterwards I'll explain theme, character summary and more explanation about this story. So let's see the story The Cop and the Anthem. Soapy left his bench and strolled out of the square and across the level sea of asphalt, means road, where Broadway and Fifth Avenue flow together. Up Broadway he turned and stopped at a luxurious cafe. Soapy had confidence in himself from the lowest button of his vest upward. He was shaven and his coat was trim and his net black bow had been presented to him by a lady missionary on Thanksgiving Day. If only he could reach a table in the restaurant, unsuspected success would be his. The portion of him that would show above the table would raise no doubt in the waiter's mind. A roasted mallard duck, thought Soapy, would be about the thing with a bottle of wine and then some cheese, a cup of coffee and a cigar. $1 for a cigar would be enough. The total would not be so high as to call forth any extreme of revenge, means punishment, from the cafe management. And yet the meat would leave him filled and happy for the journey in his winter island, means prison. Winter islands means prison. But as Soapy set foot inside the restaurant door, the head waiter's eyes fell upon, means the waiters noticed his poor condition trousers and dissident shoes. Strong and ready hands turn him back, turn him about the convict him in silence and has to the sidewalk and awaited the ignoble fate of the Minas Mallard. Soapy turned off Broadway. It seemed that his route to the covert islands was not to be an easy one. Some other way of entering the limbo must be devised. At a corner of 6th Avenue, electric lights and cunningly displayed wires behind plate glass made a shop window attractive. Soapy took a stone and dashed it through the glass. People came running round the corner, a policeman in the lead. Soapy stood still with his hands in his pockets and smiled at the sight of brass buttons. Where's the man that done that? Inquired the officer agitated. Don't you think that I might have had something to do with it? Said Sophie, with a friendly voice as one greets good fortune. The policeman refused to accept Sophie even as a clue. Man who smash window do not remain to chat with the police. They take to their heels. The policeman saw a man halfway down the block running to catch a car. With drawn club, he joined in the pursuit. Soppy, with disgust in his heart, drifted long, twice unsuccessful. On the opposite side of the street was a restaurant of no great pretensions. It catered to large appetites and modest pursuits. Its crockery and atmosphere were thick, its soap and napery thin. Into this place Soppy betook himself without challenge. At the table he sat and consumed beefsteak, flapjacks, dog nuts and pea, and then he told the waiter the fact that the monetist coin and himself were total strangers. Now get busy and call a cop, said Soppy, and don't keep a gentleman waiting. No cop for you, said the waiter with a voice like butter cakes, and I like the cherry in the Manhattan cocktail, hai con. Neatly upon his left ear, on the callous pavement, two waiters pitch Soppy. He rose joint by joint as a, a carpenter's rule opens, and dust his clothes. Arrest seemed now but elusive, means difficult to achieve dream. The island seemed very far away. A policeman who stood before a drugstore 2 doors away laughed and walked down the street. Soppy was captured with a sudden fear that some dreadful magic had made him immune to arrest. He was in a state of panic, and when he came up upon another policeman logging grandly in front of a glittering theatre, he caught at the immediate straw of disorderly conduct. On the sidewalk, Soppy began to yell drunken gibberish at the top of his harsh voice. He danced, hauled, rapped, and otherwise disturbed the skies. The policeman merrily turned round and round his club, turned his back to Soppy, and remarked to a citizen, "'Tis one of them, a lot celebrating the goose egg they give to the Hartford College. Noisy but no harm. We have instructions to let them be." Disconsolate Soppy stopped his unavailing racket would never a policeman lay hands on him. In his fancy, the island seemed an unattainable Arcadia. He buttoned his thin coat against the chilling wind. In a cigar store, he saw a well dressed man lighting a cigar at the swinging light. He had set his silk umbrella by the door on entering. Soapy stepped inside, grabbed the umbrella, and sauntered off with it slowly. The man at the cigar light followed hastily. My umbrella, he said sternly. Oh, is it? Sneered Soapy, adding insult to pity. Larceny? Well, why don't you call a policeman? I took it your umbrella. Why don't you call a cop? There stands one on the corner. The umbrella owner slows his steps. Soapy did likewise, with a premonition that luck would again run against him. The policeman eyed at the two curiously. Of course, said the umbrella man. Well, you know how these mistakes occurs. If it's your umbrella, I hope you will excuse me. I picked it up this morning in a restaurant. If you recognize it as yours, why I hope you will. Of course, it's mine, said Soapy savagely. The ex-umbrella man retreated. The policeman hurried to assist a tall blonde in an opera cloak across the street in front of the streetcar that was approaching 2 blocks away. Soapy walked eastward through a street damaged by improvements. He hurled the umbrella angrily into an excavation. He muttered against the men who wear helmets and carry clubs because he wanted to fall into their clutches. They seemed to regard him as a king who could do nothing wrong. At length, Soapy reached one of the avenues to the east where the glitter and turmoil was but faint. He dragged himself toward Madison Square, for the homing instinct survives even when the home is a park bench. But on an unusually quiet corner, Soapy came to a standstill. Here was an old church, quaint and rambling and gabled. Through one violet stained window, a soft light glowed, where no doubt the organist loitered over the keys, making sure of his mastery of the coming Sabbath anthem. For there drifted out to Soapy's ears sweet music that caught and held him transfixed against the convolutions of the iron fence. The moon was above, full and radiant. Vehicles and pedestrians were few. Sparrows twittered sleepily in the eaves or a little, while the scene might have been a country churchyard. And the anthem that the organist played cemented Soapy to the iron fence, for he had known it well in the days when his life contained such things as mothers and roses and ambitions and friends and immaculate thoughts and callers. The conjunctions of Soapy's respective state of mind and the influence about the old church brought sudden and wonderful change in his soul. He viewed with rising horror the pit into which he had tumbled, the degraded days, unworthy desires, dead hopes, bred faculties, and base motives that made up his existence. And also, in a moment, his heart responded thrillingly to this strange mood. A strong impulse moved him to battle with his disparate fact. He would pull himself out of the mire and would make a man of himself again. He would conquer the evil that had enslaved him. There was time. He was young yet he would resist his old eager ambitions and pursue them without flattering. Those solemn but sweet organ notes had set up a revolution in him. Tomorrow he would go into the roaring downtown district and find work. A fur importer had once offered him a place as driver. He would be somebody in the world, he would. Sophie felt a hand laid on arm. He looked quickly around into the impassive face of a policeman. "What are you doing here?" asked the officers. "Nothing," said Sophie. "Then come along," said the policeman. 3 months on the island, said the magistrate in the police court the next morning. O. Henry. So this is very beautiful story written by O. Henry. In next video lecture, we will see the summary, theme and analysis of the story. Thank you.